By all accounts, the upcoming Marvel Studios reboot of Blade, aka Blade the Vampire Hunter, is going to start production at the end of the year, and it sounds like he could be joined by his daughter. So in case you feel like maybe you blanked out an entire existence of a character from Marvel Comics that actually does technically exist, don't worry, you're not alone, because Blade was actually going to have a daughter in the comics a couple of years ago. That comic series never ended up landing because the writer of the series saw it inappropriate that he, as a white person, would be writing a character of color, specifically somebody that's also of color and a female, as he was a male. So he decided to step away, and Marvel was like, you know what, this is probably a good idea, because we don't really know what the hell we're doing in this scenario. And this was right in the wake of all of those legacy characters that were taking off, with the popularity of Miles Morales and Miss Marvel Kamala Khan booming. They figured, let's do that to some more characters to obviously plant some seeds for future live action iterations, because we know that that's more or less what they've been doing in the comics, using them as a sort of a test bed. Which brings us to the upcoming reboot of Blade for Marvel Studios. We heard rumors that they're looking to go in a different direction than what happened previously with the live action iterations, and that makes sense. Times have changed, they're going in a different direction. Blade has evolved, vampire culture, yes, that's a thing, believe me, that's very much a thing. You can go look into that, and it's an interesting world to look into. But that's also evolved since then. Gone are the days where vampires are very popular in media, and gone are the days where it's just male vampires being highlighted. Obviously, you know, the changing of the world and everything's changed. Now, when it comes to using Blade's daughter, it would be interesting, because if you had both, you're sort of looking at a legacy character film, which then makes me think of something like Ant-Man, where we still have Hank Pym, but we have Scott Lang, the younger iteration. And when it comes to this rumored casting, the reason people are looking at it is because they are casting somebody younger, a female that's of color, that's driven and independent, and can do stunts and action. I mean, what else could it be, right? Maybe it's a supporting character, maybe they'll be able to do something like that, but many people are looking at this as probably a mention of somebody like Blade having a daughter, or even her maybe being a co-star in the film, and them exploring the modern day vampire like her, and then also reflecting the past of when Blade first became a vampire, which would then take the film to like the 80s, which could be really cool as well, or 70s, 80s time frame. So overall, you know, it's interesting because I think this could work, but they have to do it carefully, because there's a lot to introduce just by bringing vampires into the MCU. And then on top of that, tossing in a kid, that's a lot to go over.